So the one stock that I want to talk about today is this stock, Datadog. Now, again, if you haven't traded this stock, I have to ask you why. Once it broke out of this trading range, even if you didn't catch it from earnings, which, by the way, let's actually talk about that for a second. As much as the market, the bigger picture of the market feels like it's still going sideways for the better part of the year, even though the QQQ hit new 52-week highs last week, which is just amazing, you still need to be on top of the individual stocks, which means that you need to put in that little bit of extra time to say, what did the market do recently? What did it do yesterday? And which stocks make sense for me to watch this week? Okay. Now, if you're not day trading, don't worry about it. That's why we're very specific to say this week. It's very important. Now, Datadog has probably been the type of trading opportunity that we've been talking about in our community virtually every day for 2023, obviously, especially during a specific time period, which is earnings season. As the market continues to go sideways, earnings plays, earnings catalysts, for lack of a better way of putting it, have by a mile been the easiest, best trades that we've had on our table, day trading or swing trading. We're getting fantastic follow through on the day trading side of things. However, just like this right now, this stock right here, 12 consecutive green daily candlesticks, higher highs, higher lows, closing near the highs. And actually, you know what, let me actually pop that in here right now as well. If we take it from the day before earnings and go up to where it traded on Friday, that was a 47.74% move in 12 days. In 12 days, a fantastic move. Now, if you didn't catch this, I'm not saying this to make you feel bad. I'm saying this to challenge yourself, which is the whole point of what coaching is all about. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself why you did not catch this move, because then you're getting feedback from the market, and more specifically, feedback from your own results, that maybe something's missing and maybe there's a little tweak that you need to make. Maybe put it on a Post-it pad, put it on your monitor and say, do this a little more often. And again, there's only two things. Let's be super clear about this. Knowing what to look for and then having your software set up to tell you what you're looking for is there right now, which kind of brings me into this week. We're going to get into some ideas, but the big thing I want to talk about for this week, and let's actually pull up a chart, probably some of the stronger stocks, right? This is actually a really clean 2-week run. Now, obviously, semiconductor stocks, as we just talked about before, just an absolutely on fire move, and quite frankly, across the board. So we actually break this down even a little bit more and hop on over specifically into those semiconductor stocks. And we take a look at some of the maps. You can actually see that look, these are the kinds of moves that we've been having over the last couple of weeks, where it's been very broad-based. Broadcom just popping in there as well. AMD, probably the strongest move. AMD and NVIDIA, probably the top two. But here's the thing we need to talk about right now. We're about to hop into the bigger list of stocks that I'm going to be watching this week, and absolutely in my game plan for the community this week. The prior 2 weeks, absolutely amazing price action and volume. We were getting well-bid candlesticks, higher highs, higher lows. We were getting energy candlesticks closing near the high. Also good volume on those moves. Also light volume pauses leading to the next move. Absolutely amazing. Now, this week, the market's setting up a little bit differently. We have these big moves to the upside that are way beyond the optimal entry. So now we're getting back into, is it a good trading idea? There's a separation between pick a side, then pick a spot. It's not that hard to pick a side right now. Again, provided that you have an edge and you know it's picking a spot right now is going to be a little more challenging this week. And we're going to go back into that Datadog chart because I want to show you, give you some ideas of how to come up with the next logical spot where accepting the risk on the trade is justified because the profit is likely and there's enough profit that's likely. So raise your hand if you've ever got into a trade where as soon as you bought that thing, you're like, man, this was fantastic. Goes in your favor one day and then pulls back the next 4 days. You get stopped out of the damn thing, and then it does exactly what you thought, right? I'm going to show you actually probably a beautiful visual of that, which is obviously AMD, right? We had this big move up. You get involved on this breakout, pulls back $7, stops you out, and then does this over the next week, right? That simply means that you need to refine the difference between pick a side and pick a spot. A lot of traders, too many smart traders, get involved too late because they don't recognize the optimal entry compared to what the stock normally does. So get overbought and oversold out of your head, because it's a nebulous thing. And quite frankly, overbought can remain overbought for a while. We want to bring overbought back into the actual trading aspect of it. And what is the next good entry? Good entry means if I buy it right now, there's enough profit potential that's likely for the risk, which now takes us to the last 2 weeks and heading into this week. The last 2 weeks were amazing. We had some fantastic, absolutely fantastic optimal entries and follow through. But now that average true move on a lot of those swing trades has been used up. So if you can get a visualization of if a stock normally moves $15 and it already went 14, that's really going to be tough to justify a new swing trade. So what we need to see is we need the optimal entry to reset for us to put on another new trade. Now, we got news today about Micron. We got news today about Meta. So a lot of the bearish news that a lot of these stocks that have just been grinding and some of them even screaming higher to the upside are most likely going to pull back this week. Now, here's the biggest thing that I want to get across to you, and I really hope you get this point. Knowing what to look at, having the system is good. But having a system and understanding chart patterns is different than trading. Trading is what happens between entry and exit. Trading is what happens when you're managing position size, the right position size. There's a big difference between I know what to look at and I know how to make money. And I really want you, I hope you put that on a post-it pad, because it's a really significant difference. We get a lot of people that come into our community and say, I knew exactly what to look at, but I couldn't make a dime, or worse, their trading account was going backwards.